What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. You're watching Keto Rewind, and I'm Jess. Okay, so it's week 20, a week 20 update. Can you believe it's already been 20 weeks? It's not technically 5 months yet until the 11th because I started my keto journey on February 11th, 2019. So stay tuned. In about 10 days, I'll have a month 5 update. But for right now, it's only week 20. So, wow. Where do I even begin? Okay, so as you can see, I'm not home. I am in my camp. So we traveled from Texas, where we live, to New Hampshire to our camp because obviously you've seen probably a couple of my videos last week. It's beautiful here in the summer, and let's be honest, it's really hot in Texas in the summer, and it's maybe 70 or 80 in the summers here in New Hampshire. And we're on a lake, so that cools it down big time, and it makes it all the while to come up here. So anyways, I am obviously not home right now, and that's why my background of my pictures, everything looks different. So let's get to it. Okay, so last week we left Texas, did our long road trip to come up here, and it took us 2 days sitting in the car. And that update for, I think it was last Monday, I did my update and I was up 2 pounds. So, and I could explain that because I literally sat in the car for 27 hours and you retain that liquid, and so all week I've had to work hard at getting that off. And because I have so many new subscribers, welcome by the way, I was really good with my macros. All week I posted like full day of eating type videos, and I tracked my macros. I was expecting a huge loss. I was way under all my macro goals. So I get on the scale this morning and I am 248. Here's a picture. But so obviously I lost those 2 pounds and an extra pound, making my grand total 61 pounds lost in 20 weeks. But at the same time, I wanted to be so mad. I was so clean with the way I was eating this week, because especially since I've made an effort to make more full day of eating videos, which keeps me on track. So I really was expecting a great loss on this scale, especially since I had 2 pounds of water weight to get rid of. So it's okay. At the end of the day, I know I ate well, and this is good because now I can share this part of the journey too. It's not always going to be about the loss on the scale, and that's why you shouldn't really focus too much about the scale, because my clothes and everything that I packed up to bring up here for our summer clothes, everything's fitting so much looser. I was putting makeup on the other day, and I'm like, my jawline, I feel a bone. I've had like 75 chins for like 13 years. It's crazy to put makeup on and feel a jawbone and not have to worry about blending in on my neck and stuff, all the color, so I didn't show my double chin. And so it was kind of crazy that I'm feeling all kinds of joints that I normally don't feel because they were hidden with fat before. And you'll see in my videos, collarbones are coming out from the bottom, So, but anyways, it's not only about the scale. My clothes are fitting wonderfully. So that leads me to think my macros were spot on last week. If anything, I was even way under carbs, which I don't normally eat that little carbs. I always have struggled to keep the 20 net carbs, but I was doing like 11 to 17 net carbs a day, which was really low for me, and I haven't been that low since like day 1 or week 1 was I that low. So with all that, I knew my macros were awesome. It's like I know that I did well with eating. So if I did well with eating, my clothes are fitting way better. How do you explain it? Well, when you lose weight on keto, you lose weight differently. Your body, especially for yo-yo dieters in the past, when you yo-yo a lot in your whole life, like you try a diet, try a next diet, fail another diet, and just yo-yo that process, your body, when you get switched to keto, doesn't truly believe you yet. So it's called a swoosh effect. You can totally Google that, find another person that explains it better. I'm using the Cliff Notes for you in my explanation. But basically, your body loses the fat in the fat cells, but it replaces it with water. So they stay the same size. So that's why you can be smaller, but not weigh less. So right now I feel like because I switched, everything, I went in a car ride and I switched my whole life, coming up here to New Hampshire at camp from home, and I really cut down on my macros. My body might have said, whoa, too much, and is holding on to the water. So one random day, it's gonna say, oh, don't need the water anymore, and it's gonna swoosh, and you just literally pee it all out, and you have a huge loss one day with no explanation, and that's called the swoosh effect. So basically, if you haven't lost any weight, but your macros have been spot on, and maybe something's going on, maybe you're your yo-yo dieter in the past and you don't see it translate onto the scale, but even though your clothes fit better, stay patient, trust the process, you're about to have a swoosh. And you could easily wake up 6 pounds lighter. But if you notice yourself peeing a lot, you're having the swoosh, and that's when your body says, okay, we don't need this fluid, and pee it out. So if you find yourself peeing more than normal, you're swooshing. So hop on the scale the next day and you'll be pleasantly surprised. So I think it was a combination right now of that. I sat in the car and traveled up here for 2 days. I'm in a new scenery, new everything, new, then I shut down the carbs. I really cut them out. So my body's just saying, whoa, let's pump the brakes here. What's going on? I don't know if I need to get rid of this water weight or keep it on, so at the end of the day, trust the process. And then that's the thing, be honest with yourself. If you're not losing weight, be honest with yourself. Were you really tracking your macros? Were you really following that? Are you tracking every single thing and the amount that you put in your food diary? Is that all true? Be honest with yourself. You can explain a lot. 20 net carbs is really easy to go over. That's literally 10 tater tots. 20 net carbs is 10 tater tots. So it's really easy to go over your 20 net carbs in a day. So be honest with yourself. If you see yourself not losing weight, were you really behaving? In my case, I know I was, so that's why I'm not worried, and I'm going to expect a good number next week. It has to. So, and you're not on a plateau if you're losing weight, or if you haven't lost weight for more than 2 to 3 weeks, then you could say you're on a plateau. 1 week, I still lost a pound this week. I can't say I'm on a plateau. You know what I mean? So just be honest. I know I was awesome because I know a lot of people are watching me right now, and I want to do so good for everybody, and that's just part of my process. And unfortunately, it didn't show on the scale, but you can see in my pictures from my pictures show I am smaller. My clothes fit great, and the bathing suits that I brought up here are literally too big. The bottoms are too big, and I'm gonna go shopping today and buy new bottoms because the extra large is just too big. So, which is such a wonderful problem to have, So normally I've never had that. I'm usually going to the store buying bigger ones. So that explains my net one. Even though I lost 3 pounds this week, I literally only lost 1 because I had gained 2 last week. So I'm calling it just a 1 pound loss this week, even though it was 3. So my total is 61 pounds in 20 weeks. So stay tuned for next week. I'm staying the course. I'm going to be just as strict this week. I've got lots of great recipes coming up. So I've got a lot, and we're going to make pickled onions this week. Keto pickled onions, or I should call it, is it called dill? I don't know. But we're going to make our normal family pickled onions and cucumbers and stuff like that recipes. We're going to make them keto. So we've already been experimenting. I'm like, wow, this would be a great idea to show you how to make pickled onions. They add so much flavor to hamburgers, to salads, when you put a pickled something on there. So stay tuned for those videos. And also, if you haven't noticed, I'm not wearing any makeup today, and my hair looks like a disaster. And that's because I asked last week if anybody was interested in me doing a hair video I will do a hair video. So today I'm gonna go out after this video, I'm gonna go out in our outdoor shower and film how I do my hair and style it the curly girl way, or the curly girl method using Diva Curl products. So that's why I look like a disheveled mess. There's no point in putting makeup on and going to have a shower. You know, I'm just gonna, you know, waste my time. So anyways, that's gonna be coming up. And then finally, my quick tips for this week 20 update would be, okay, so I see a lot of people saying, you know, they don't know how to get started, or the tracking macros is like really scary to them. And to be honest, let me explain this really as simple as I can. If you're not tracking, if you don't make the effort to learn how to track your macros, you're really doing yourself a disservice, because you can take this same concept of tracking your macros and apply it to every diet that's out there. It doesn't even have to be keto. Say you're sick of keto and you don't want to do keto. You use this same method. You just use different foods on literally, but that's how if you don't know how much you're eating, how can you truly say the diet doesn't work? Or, you know, like, how do you even know? And then the other thing is, if you're not counting or tracking what you're eating, how are you going to learn what a proper serving size is? Sometimes, you know, you flip over the back of a label and it says, you know, you say it's a candy bar and it says there's 2 servings in that candy bar, and you're like, 2 servings? It's this big, you know, like, there's some wonky labels, and that's just so they can get the it not to look so bad on the label, so they pop it into 2 servings. But you know, like, that's one scenario. Or the other one would be like, well, this bag of chips has 2 servings. I don't need the whole chips, a whole bag, you know? So if you don't know what a real serving size is, how do you even judge if the diet's working or not? You know, you're gonna give up too soon, or, you know, because if you are eating at a level that you can't, like, your body needs to be in a calorie deficit. I have lost 61 pounds with very minimal exercise. Losing weight is like 90% what you're eating. Yes, there's a 10% part of the puzzle where it's exercise, using different methods to cope with your stresses and, you know, willpower. All that stuff is in there too, but 90% of it is what you're actually eating, in the amounts that you're actually eating. So I think that anybody can do this. You don't need to be some expert. I didn't know much about it, but I was so determined not to be fat anymore. I did not want to be 309 pounds anymore. I was so fed up that I was going to learn it, and I was going to research it, and I was going to do it. I owed that to myself to change my life, and you need to do that for yourself too. You have to learn that part. It seems crazy at first because there's a lot to learn. There's sneaky ingredients. There's, you know, there's the stuff you can and can't have, and it could seem like, oh my God, all at once. But you have to learn it. And this way, if you learn it, you can take this thing to any diet out there, you know. And plus, after you lose all the weight, do you want to gain it back? No, 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 no. So if you don't know how to track food, all this hard work of losing the weight will just come right back, because you won't know how much to eat, or, you know, what foods to eat. And it's so empowering to learn what's in each food, how it affects your macros for the day, you know, and that part of the puzzle is probably one of the most important. And I know you might hear me say, track your macros, track your macros. I'm not kidding. It's the secret. It's the secret. It's the part of the puzzle that I was not doing. So, long story short, I will post a link here on how to track your macros with Carb Manager and MyFitnessPal. But there's so many, you've just got to do it. You've got to learn. And I will probably make another video with more details than just how to set up your macros. Like literally how to search for foods, how to apply it, and then, you know, that whole 9 yards. So I will make a video for that, but I can't say it enough. You have to track your macros. How do you know how much to eat unless you're tracking it? And you need a food scale. Because if you weigh and measure your food, now you've eaten the correct amount, which will in turn turn into a weight loss. So, which is the whole goal. So, but if you learn it, you don't have to be some scholar. You don't need to be swift with technology. You just need to learn how to do it and be honest with yourself, that, you know, so that when you eat something, it goes into your food diary. You know, like there's a part of the puzzle too. So that's probably my biggest tip. I see that a lot. Yes, you have to learn how to track your macros. So if somebody gave you a piece of paper with a meal plan, what's going to happen when you get sick of eating those foods on those meal plans? How are you going to know how to eat? You know, like I can't just hand you a meal plan, because what I can eat at 248 pounds could be way more or way less than what you can have. So what I'm eating is custom to me. I'm eating certain foods, but how much of those foods is directly related to my height and weight. I'm 5'8", 248 pounds. I could be the same size as somebody who's 5'3", who's, you know, 220, you know, like smaller than me, but we look the same because of our, you know, the way we're spread out, and I can eat more because I'm bigger. I'm physically bigger because I'm taller, you know, like that whole 9 yards. It's not one size fits all approach. So if you want to lose weight and keep it off and learn how to eat again, you have to learn. The puzzle is so important. You have to learn how to track your macros. So again, I will make a better video on that, but that is literally the secret of why I've lost so much weight. And as much as that sucks, now it comes second nature. At first, I was like, oh, I gotta put 3 eggs in, I gotta add my butter, I've gotta, you know, add my bacon, and, you know, but it just, once you get to doing it, it's so easy. You just like, and you can copy meals to, you know, I eat pretty much the same foods all the time, so I just literally hit the copy button, and there you go. Now I've got my days, you know, you know, the whole thing's measured and all that, so I can just copy and paste to the next day, and I'm done. It takes 2 seconds, and it makes me accountable. So, that's my spiel. That's my one wish for you. You have got to give yourself that. You've got to. You've got to. And then plus, I feel so much more empowered learning that, because now when I lose this weight, it's not coming back. And losing 140 pounds, the last thing I want to do is gain that back. So you owe yourself that. So, all right, off to take a shower, wash the hair, and make the curly girl hair video. So if you need help, you can join my Facebook group with the whole tracking your macros thing. It's facebook.com/groups/keto rewind. I do have a private coaching group where I can give you a lot more one-on-one. You'll have to search Keto Rewind Coaching, and that'll come up, but that is a paid group. And it's more my one-on-one coaching of how to do stuff. So if you want me to pick your brain, or you want to pick my brain, or that's a great group for you to do. And so anyways, that's it for today. I will see you at my next video. Leave a comment if you have any questions or you want to talk or connect. I am Jess, and you're watching Keto Rewind.